Chapter 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day. Foi! What a nice and refreshing morning. Come look at this. We are blessed with such a beautiful sun. Or not. I woke up and jumped out from the bed to open a window, only to find it was dull and cloudy weather. It's going to rain. My tension went down at once. Well, before I go to see Tada.san, let's wipe off my body first. I'd like to ask Reagan about how's thing ended yesterday as well. I went to the guild master's room that I had visited so many times. We sat down face-to-face on the sofa as usual and I asked Reagan about the details from yesterday. According to Reagan, Tada.san sold her body to clear off her father's debt. Garrett.san also knew the circumstances. In the shop, she would never know a person who is going to visit as expected. One day an unwanted guest came and desired her. His identity is clear, the Lord. Although they strictly only choose customers that wouldn't bring any harm later, but they couldn't decline the Lord because of his power of authority. Later, the investigation led by Reagan and Garrett.san found out a fact that the debt was actually a plan of the Lord who tried to get Tada.san. There is also information about the Lord doing things that can't be put on the table from behind, was found out. When the Lord attempted to dispose of the collection evidence, the incident happened. By the way, the Lord currently. I don't get it. I don't know whether he is alive or dead now, Reagan, that's it. It seems he was unconscious since that time, as if died with his cracked body. I heard there is no sign of him waking up. Well, honestly I think it served him right. I thought about bringing the conversation to an end so I could meet Tada.san soon. But before that happened, Reagan told me that he has something say. The moment I could discern his words, I rushed out from this place in hurry. Well, because there is a possibility that the Lord's family will get revenge towards Tada and her family, Garrett sent them to somewhere safe early in the morning. I didn't know the destination either, Reagan, he said. When I arrived at Garrett.san's place, no one was there. Tada.san, Garrett.san, Mr. Scary Face, guard staffs, everyone had gone, huh? What is this? How about the answer of my confession? I was standing dumbstruck for a while and then someone come out from the back of the mansion and walked towards me. Tada.san, I thought so and confirmed that person, however it was the cat-eared woman that I occasionally saw. Hello, hello. Wazoo, oh, you don't have to remember me. I just came here on behalf Tada Annie.sama to tell you that she is doing fine, Wazoo, I don't think she's telling me this in a goodwill though, because I can feel she is mocking me somehow. Too bad. Tada Annie.sama is not here anymore, I heard it from Reagan. She left the city, was it? Wazoo, yeah, but I couldn't tell you the destination. So, what did Tada.san want to tell me? Wazoo, I had a bad feeling that I don't want to hear it. But the person in front of me seems she want to say something no matter what, so I have no choice. But I wonder if it's better not to listen it. Huh? You still couldn't understand it. You were dumped. To be honest. I thought it would be the case considering this situation and all. But I don't want to admit it nevertheless. It's really a pity, but you should just give up about Tada Annie.sama, I think you could understand that much, I don't want to hear. Perhaps this is just some kind of a bad dream. You were just used for our convenience because you are strong. Thanks to that Tada Annie.sama is safe. But everything has ended because that damned Lord is gone. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, I don't need words of gratitude. And goodbye, I will not see you anymore I guess. She said, while saying such a thing, she passed beside me with the look of ridicule like a triumph, and left me alone at this place. I kneeled down on the spot as if lost all my power. I see. I was merely just used. I see. I see. Chapter 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It'll talk. Tata, I have a gentle mother and father that work as merchants. I live healthy, full of affection from the two of them, but there was a turning point in my life when I reached the age of 18. My father shouldered a large amount of debt from a lord. My life had changed completely, but the love from my parents was still unchanged. From that time, the Lord offered to take me as his wife to clear the debt, but my parents refused obstinately even after I had said various things to convince them. I'd like to repay their love even a little, so I decided to sell my body. I consulted with my father's acquaintance Garrett San, to work at his place. I somehow managed to go through my first time by myself. Garrett San also helped me as well. He didn't bring unpleasant or strange customer closer. TL. I couldn't understand her reasoning why she did it, and there is no details explanation either. Still, I couldn't get the money if I didn't take a customer at all. After that I slept several times with some customers. Nothing would get done if I did nothing. Every time I was held by someone whom I didn't know his name. My heart is dying. But I couldn't stop because there was a debt to be paid. The Lord also came a couple of times to embrace me. At that time my heart really began to die and my emotions seemed to disappear. I do not want to remember it. Even so, I could make a friend as I lived here. The person I most get along with was a cat-eared woman, Nina San. Her ears are cute and we often talked. I talked about my own life and cried. 6 months after I started working here, Garrett San called me to his room. I was introduced to Reagan San. I was surprised to hear that he is a guild master of this city. He also was Garrett San's party member when he was still adventuring. And then Reagan San brought me a little hope. He said that father's debt might be the Lord's scheme that tried to get me. And I was more surprised to hear that they were currently doing an investigation to find the evidence. I cried when I thought that I just need to endure it a little more. From that point, my heart didn't feel like dying anymore when being held by a customer. With my anger towards the Lord in my heart, I believed that someday everything would end, so I worked hard. Half a year had passed since that time. I was 19 years old now. There was a meeting of destiny for me. According to Garrett San's story, a strong hero that saved the city from Majin will come to this place. When I talking with Nina about it, she suggested to use that person for a moment of need. I headed to the drawing room led by the talking voice of Garrett San. There was a man with Reagan San. A man with a mediocre facial appearance and black eyes that look harmless. Is he really the person that people are talking about? It was my first impression. However, if he really has such strength, it will be useful if I approach him to keep the Lord away from me. I will use this body to get closer to him. But that day I had failed because he collapsed after drink liquor. The Lord's investigation is still progressing. I feel relieved because I had succeeded to make an appointment for next meeting with Wazoo San. The next time we meet, I was prepared to sleep with Wazoo San because this was that kind of place. I thought it was possible to obtain the strongest ally with this dirty body of mine, but it didn't happen. We just spent our time talking with each other. However, this is the first time in my life to feel this way. My heart felt it was being healed when I talked with him. But the fun time had ended with a noise. As soon as I recognized there was an incident, I headed to the drawing room. Garrett San was defeated and I was caught by a savage person. But the situation was over in a blink of an eye. I had been rescued before I noticed it and the barbarians were cleaned up in flash. I was just looking at Wazoo San's back. He said something but it didn't enter my head. I just watched the figure of him leave this place. My heart was beating so fast at an alarming rate. The investigation has entered its final stage. When I'm being embraced by a customer, there is something that comes to my mind. I wish he was Wazoo San. The time I'm thinking about Wazoo San has increased. Almost every day I was occupied by the thought about Wazoo San. I feel his ordinary face seems cute now. His back looks strong. I want to jump onto it. I never fell in love until now. This is my first love. When I heard Wazoo.san was coming to Garrett.san's celebration party, my heart was jumped out in joy. I dressed up to the fullest. I took a deep breath a couple of times in front of the door. When I entered the room, Wazoo.san was lying down on the sofa. As I approached him, I found out that he was asleep. He seemed to be having a nightmare. I looked around the room to make sure nobody was here. I gently lifted Wazoo.san's head and placed it on my lap, and then I gently stroked his head. I think that Wazoo.san's sleeping face became a little peaceful. It's cute. Moo. On the next day. Considering Wazoo.san's personality, I thought that he might come again today. I washed my body carefully as it may be held by Wazoo.san this time. I didn't want to make him wait. When I heard that he was coming, I went straight to the room with only a single bath towel wrapped on my body. It's embarrassing. And then this has become the day of fate that I will never forget forever. While preaching Wazoo.san to make him understand about how worried I was, the Lord who turned to a monster barged into the room. Wazoo.san was blown out from the room and I had been taken away by the Lord. At that time, I was prepared for death. It's regrettable that Wazoo.san would never embraced me even once. But this determination was meaningless because Wazoo.san came to save me before long. It's embarrassing when he held me in a princess carry. Wazoo.san was hit by magic one after another. Although he seemed fine, but I was worried and told him to escape alone. Wazoo.san only showed me a puzzled look. Moo. Because of that I asked him something involuntarily. How come? You're going so far to save someone like me. Tada, eh. Because I love you, Wazoo, huh. What did he just say? Love. Wazoo.san to me. You can't. A woman like me is. However, Wazoo.san denied it with his words when I was in self-deprecating. He grabbed my shoulder and pulled me abruptly. What? I still love you nevertheless. You hear? Wazoo, eh? What? Yeah. Okay. I understand. I could only nod without uttering any words. As soon as I noticed, the situation was already over. After that, we left the city. According to Garrett.san's story, the Lord's family might seek retaliation. I decided to leave the city until things calmed down and hide myself at Garrett.san's acquaintance's place. Although I didn't want to leave Wazoo.san, but at the present time I will only bring him trouble if I am near him. I asked Nina to tell him this story. She said it was all right to leave it to her. A few days later I found out that Garrett.san acquaintance was an elf. Moreover, he was the head of an elf village near the center mountain. We were welcomed kindly. As soon as Nina arrived at the elf village, I asked whether my message has been told properly. But I was shocked when I hear the contents of the message she conveyed. By the way, I didn't tell Nina about my feeling towards Wazoo.san. But what should I do? I should have told her about my feeling properly. My parents who saw my reaction seemed worried, when I was ached with, what's wrong? I told them everything. Then my dad was stunned and my mother's smile like flower bloomed. Oh dear, you should just chase after him right now, eh? Is that fine? I'm supposed to hide, right? While wondering about it, my mother told this matter to Garrett.san. Thank you, Mom. Then after a while, with scattering sparks around, today the 6 of us leave the village to meet Wazoo.san. The member is my love rival, 2 elves, Nina, myself, and Reagan.san. While being encouraged by everyone, we departed from the village to Rinneku City. For the worst case, he may not in Rinneku City anymore, but I will definitely find him. At that time, I will not lose to any other woman. I don't mind become the 2nd wife or the 3rd wife, so please have me Wazoo.san. +++++. Chapter 40. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Another story. A love rival appeared. It has been several days since Wazoo.san left the village. However, I finally can go to look for him. The village chief and the adult villagers have stopped restraining me because there is already a new Morito successor. There is nothing that tied me down to the village anymore. All right. Though everyone seems to disappointed, but I couldn't afford to stay here forever. I will go to look for Wazoo.san to confess feeling. Because the future called happy ending is waiting for me there. The twins elves, Yuyuna and Ruruna, also will accompany me on this journey. They said they want to meet Wazoo.san again. It seems they had become good friends. There is no problem with Yuyuna, but Ruruna is. That wench, what is she planning? I can feel a danger when she talked and praised Wazoo.san. When I meet Wazoo.san, maybe 1 or 2 lovers had already been with him. Nothing strange because Wazoo.san is very charming person. I don't think he will already have a wife though. But it can't be helped about lovers. Let me become one of them. However, I don't want his lovers to increase any further. Because if it increases, that's time for our love may be reduced. Ehehehe. That's why Ruruna is dangerous. I feel a danger because she is dangerous. However, for me who's never been out of the forest, the fact that there will be more people on the journey is something to be rejoice. It can't be helped. It can't be helped if Ruruna wants to come along. Boo, but I should be the first. When we are preparing for the trip, the village became noisy. But it's unlikely that a monster appeared because it sounds cheerful. I think they are welcoming someone. The 3 of us go out from the house to confirm the situation. It appears they are welcoming those who visited the village. Come to think of it, if I remembered correctly, I heard there were requests to shelter some people inside this village for some time. It seems that there are quite a few people. We suspend the preparation and went towards that place to join welcoming them as part of the villager. While a man called Garrett talked about the future with Chief, the other villager deepened their friendship with the other people. Meanwhile, I was closely watching a corner where 2 people were talking out of the circle. One of them is a cat beast. Woman who joined later. The other person was a beautiful woman with characteristic blue hair. Apparently, the woman with blue hair seemed to be listening to a story from the cat-eared woman. Then, the woman with blue was showed complicated look. She seems to be in trouble. I thought that something has happened, so I approaches to listen the story. Before that happened, a woman and a man were talking to her. After they said something, the blue-haired woman made a resolute face. It seems everything has been settled, so I tried to turn back and leave the place, but I have no choice but stop my steps when I heard their conversation. Thank you, Mom. I will absolutely meet Wazoo.san and tell him my feeling, Tada. Just now. Who is this person she wanted to meet? What did she want to tell? Immediately I rushing my steps towards the blue-haired woman. Can I have a minute? Sirona, yes, what is it? Tada, that Wazoo.san you're talking about. Could it be, he is a strong person with black hair and eyes, also has a normal appearance, he is also a little cute too, right? Sirona, how could you know it? Tada, with that reaction alone, we understood each other's feelings. We are in a similar situation and exactly have the same thought. At that moment, there are sparks flying between us. I see. Could it be you are also looking for him, Tada? Yeah, what of it? Sirona, do you know his whereabouts? Tada, gah. Sirona, it was caught off in painful place. Certainly, I don't know where he is and I never considered where I should look for him. I knew where he is. Although I'm not sure whether he is still around, but I know a person who probably will know where he is, Tada, gah. Sirona, what's with this feeling of defeat? I can't lose here. I have been to confessed. Sirona, so do I. Tada, ugu. Oh, it looks interesting, Garrett. A man called Garrett said so toward us while looking on our interaction. As I began to think, suddenly he said something that tickled me. That's right. Why don't you come to see him together? Garrett, hiya. Tata Sirona, it's just perchance, but he might have left the city if we don't hurry. There, I saw she was confident with her strength, right? Garrett, well, it's because I have been in charge of the village's defense until just recently, Sirona. Ho, that's amazing. I assumed that Wazoo had been come to this village, so. You must be Tata's love rival. Tata is familiar to the worldly people, but she has no strength. In contrary, this Missy is strong but has no knowledge about the outer world, Garrett. Tata Sirona, he could guess my shortcoming excellently, and I also understood what he was trying to say. Certainly we can cope with most crises if we cooperate. We look at each other. It is exactly as you say, Sirona. That's right, Tata, and our objective also aligned. Meeting Wazoo.san should take the top priority, Sirona, yeah. Tata, then there is only one answer. We shall cooperate for the time being. I won't lose though. Sirona, well, that sounds good, I also won't lose. Tata, Zuzuzuzuzuzu, TL. Sparks SFX.D, we shook hands while scattering a sparks. A few days later, we arrange for the trip. Firstly, we will leave the village and head for Rinaku City where Wazoo.san should be there. It seems Nina will join us as Tata's escort to apologize for what she had done. Wait there, Wazoo.san. Because your Sirona goes to see you now. Chapter 41. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I fell down on all fours in front of Garrett.san's place where no one was there anymore. I slowly stood up and began to walk unsteadily to the inn while watching my own feet move step by step. Kayla.san tried to call out when she saw me coming, but looking at my depressed state, she immediately went to the counter and handed me the key. What's wrong with that face? I don't know what happened, just rest for today. Kayla, she said so and lightly pushed my back. I lightly lowered my head to answer and entered the usual room. Inside the room, I threw my body on the bed and slept. Lula brought me a meal. I ate a little. She told me to cheer up. I slept. Baldy is come. He had a face which seems to feel awkward. I slept. Kayla.san brought me a meal. She patting my back with Bashi. I slept. When I noticed it, Meru was patting my head with Pawn. Are you trying to comfort me? Thank you. I slept. Then the door was opened forcefully after 2 days had passed. I slowly looked at the door, lightly dressed Orlando shouldering a big bag was there. Orlando come in with Zuka and grabbed my arm. I heard the circumstances from Reagan.san. Let's go. Orlando, Where? Orlando dragged me out by the hand. Wait. What on earth are you doing? Please leave me alone. Or rather, what's that Baldy selfishly have told you? Orlando brought me to the place a little away from the city. It was a dreary plain with nothing. Why on earth did you bring me to a place like this? Wazoo, after he took a reasonable distance from me, Orlando took out a wooden sword from the bag he was carrying on and pointing the tip at me. What? Are you asking for a duel? Wazoo, well, something like that I guess. In anticipation of your strength, I want you to accompany me practice. Just a little. Here I go. Orlando came to cut me with the sword but I avoided it half-heartedly. Although I wouldn't be hurt even if the attack landed. What are you really wanting to do? Wazoo, I asked while avoiding the slash, but Orlando only gave a refreshing smile. When you're feeling down, if you go out like this and move your body, it usually will make you feel better, Orlando, well. Wazoo, I don't feel better in particular. Besides, I hardly moved since it started. Heck, can I go back? Beside, I want to tell you something, Orlando, tell me something. Wazoo, ah. Although it's just my personal opinion, Orlando. Then Orlando ceased his movement. Before I could react, a thrust landed on my chest. Wazoo! You are unsightly. Orlando, Gwaha. Wazoo, critical highite. I hold my chest down. This guy. All of sudden. I know that my face is ordinary. I'm not handsome like you. Boo. But I won't cry. TL. Critical hit. He was talking about Orlando's words, not his attack. Why do you look like you're about to cry? Did you misunderstand something? Orlando, what? I know that my face isn't handsome like you. Wazoo, that's no it. I didn't mean unsightly in that way. Well, thanks for the compliment though. Orlando, Yash, let's kill him. Now, I can hit him seriously. Let's shattering the stars. Listen, what I'm trying to say is your current state is unsightly. Indeed, getting dumped after being used by a woman you like, as a man I feel sorry for you, Orlando, Guha. Damn. Could it be that he's trying to kill me with his words? But, look at yourself. Being depressed and sleeping all day along. That's just wrong. Orlando, face the reality if you are a man. Orlando, be proud of what you've saved. Orlando, surely you were abandoned. But you have brought her smile back. Isn't that enough? Let me tell you this. It was because you are a man. Orlando struck my face with a fist instead a wooden sword. I accepted his fist and pain runs on my cheeks. I understand that he seriously hit me to convey that what he said was also serious. Well. You are really cool, Orlando. My tears came overflowing naturally. It transmitted to Orlando's fist through my cheeks. But still, he looked straight at me. What's this? Why do you say such words to me? Wazoo, Orlando pulls his fist and clenches it hard. I don't know what you think, but... Orlando, he turned his fist to me. For me, you are my friend. That's why I said this to you. Orlando, I see. A friend, huh? What an awful friend. Do you always hit someone you referred to as a friend? Wazoo, because we are friends. Orlando, don't give me that smile, I'm no match for you. Fine. If you are my friend, will you keep silent about this? Wazoo, of course. Orlando, H said so and turned away his body on the spot to the other side. I keep shouting and crying out loud to my heart content. After I cried for a while, I felt strangely refreshed. Just as Orlando said, because I was able to save Tata, I decided that it was enough. It's still painful when I think about what cat-eared woman said. It also made me remember about Arya and Sarona.san. But my friends supported me. I managed to stand and look forward. When I was wiping my tears behind. Are you feeling better? Orlando. He said so while smiling. Yeah, I feel better, Wazoo, that's good, Orlando, all right. Well then, how about we continue the practice? Wazoo, no, that wasn't my intention to bring you here. Orlando, be at ease. As a friend, I will accompany you to practice thoroughly. Wazoo, after that, we practiced compulsorily. Chapter 42. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Departure training with Orlando. Even though I say that, all I did was just avoid his slash attack. If there is a gap I would tap him lightly. I mean, I don't understand a thing about swordsmanship. But there was something I had understood after repeating such activity. Orlando is a instinctively genius. I didn't taught him anything in particular, but after doing practice swings for several times he suddenly said, I get it. And it's certain that after some time later, I can sense that his attack seems to be improving. We repeated this activity over and over again. I think his capability has risen up, surpassing a majority of B. rank adventurer. Still not on the same level as A. ranked, black flame, but it's not impossible because his swordsmanship almost reached the same level as them. Well, it's just my feeling. Orlando is sprawled out on the plain. Because we have spent a considerable amount of time, he was sweating profusely and breathing heavily right now. On the other side, I'm just sitting lay su re ly beside him. Ha! Ha! How could? Even after moving so much, there is not single sweat. Orlando, well, because I have a fundamentally different strength level from you, wazoo, ha. To be honest, it's going too far. Ha dot. Orlando, the most part of sun has already set, let's go back after Orlando regained his breath. I have caused trouble to Meru, Kayla.san, and other people, I should apologize later. Say. Orlando, wazoo, I wonder if I was strong enough to be a knight. Orlando, L.C, why not? You are strong as now. Wazoo, I see. Orlando, you are strong enough. At least much better than average knight out there. Yosh. I have decided it. Orlando got up and looked at me. I will go to Mabando Kingdom to become a knight. Orlando, oh, do your best. Wazoo, that's right, if you don't mind, would you like to go to the kingdom with me? Orlando, Mabando Kingdom, huh? Certainly, even if I continue to stay in Riniku City just like this. I look at the sky while think about it. When I take a glance at Orlando, he had put on a serious expression. It seems he was asking me seriously. Well, Orlando is a nice guy, he is a friend that you can rely on, it's a farewell then. I couldn't just say that. I faced Orlando. Not a bad idea, I guess. I want to see the figure of Orlando as a knight, wazoo, of course. Just wait and I will show you. My gallant figure as a knight. Orlando, when are we going? Wazoo, actually I'm ready anytime, it's just hard to find a determination. So I would like to go as soon as possible. Orlando, that's fine. I don't have anything to do in particular, except to say goodbye to the people that took care of me in this city, wazoo, then, how about you do a round farewell tomorrow, and we will depart in the morning the day after tomorrow, how's that? Orlando, sounds good to me, wazoo. Orlando stood up, yeah. Let's do it. And cried out. Let's go by foot. We will train thoroughly until arriving at the kingdom, wazoo, o.ouuuuu. Bring it. Orlando, he was obviously feels reluctant. But it's all right, because I will give you a hands. We went back to the city to prepare. Upon arriving at the inn, to Kayla.san and Lula, it's all right now. Thanks for your concern. I said so while lowering my head. While beating my shoulder with Bashi Kayla.san was, there were also various things happening when I was at your age. She said so while laughing splendidly. Then, when I told Lula that I will be leaving this city the day after tomorrow, I won't miss you. She said so while looking lonely. I was told that tomorrow they will make a luxurious dish for me, thank you very much. I lowered my head and returned to my room where Meru was there. I lowered my head and thanked her in the same manner, but somehow it feels funny. Wait, you didn't do anything. Oh well. After that I told her that we will leave the city. Tomorrow I will be going to say goodbye to people around and make necessary preparation for the journey. For that reason I asked Meru to come along because I will put everything into her space-time magic for later. On the next day, I greeted all people that I got to know in this city. We bought a large amount of food from a stalls and put them into the space-time magic. You may nibble on the food but please don't eat it too much, I will keep an eye on Meru. Then, I stopped by the Adventurer Guild at the end of greeting. Emma.san and other guild staffs were, the valuable fighting force is. Said so. Ha! Is that you concerned with? I enter the guild master's room to greet Reagan. I see, you will leave huh? Reagan, yeah, thanks for taking care of me, Wazoo, don't mind it. Instead, you are the one who has taken care of me, so this is a parting gift, Wazoo. Reagan threw something small to me. I grabbed and confirmed it was a small bag. The wind flows in a round shining world, the design gave such feeling. It was a sign for all party members for my adventuring time. Show it to the master of the Adventurer Guild headquarters in the Imperial capital along with my name and you will receive some convenience. Probably. Reagan, master of the guild headquarters. Your acquaintance. Wazoo, that's my sister. But her personality is the worst. Reagan had an irritating face when remembering about his sister. Why are you trying to introduce such a person to me? Well, be sure to come visit this city again in the future, Reagan. Yeah, but before that. You told Orlando about my circumstances without permission, so let me hit you once. Wazoo, gah. Reagan, when he tried to escape from a window, I caught him quickly and delivered a light punch. With this I could leave without any lingering feeling. I went back to the inn and enjoyed a luxurious dish as promised yesterday. The next day, we assembled at the gate early in the morning. Meru is sleeping on my head. In this place, Reagan and Kayla.San, Lula, Emma.Sa and her husband, in addition of those who I met in this city. There are also Orlando's workplace colleague and his acquaintance, thank you. Or, good luck. Came from everyone's mouth. They are encouraging us. Inside this rain of encouragement, we started our journey to the imperial city of Mabondo Kingdom. Proofreader. Truffle ****. If you have any suggestion or finding fault in my translation, feel free to tell me. Chapter 43. You are listening at novelfull.audio. We arrived at the village, but there are two villages that exist on the highway that connected Rinneku City and the imperial capital. One of them is Oishi Village. It takes 5 days on foot from Rinneku City. I heard that from Orlando. We had spent plenty of time for training before we arrive at the village. Sometimes our opponent was a monster that appeared, we also faced each other regularly, we did various things. However, I couldn't grasp anything, there was no such a thing as improvement on my side. Well, I think that my VIT stat was so high because I got hurt so much before, not from training. With such a feeling, we walked slowly to the Oishi village. It took us 7 days that normally only needed 5 days. The two of us entered the Oishi village. Although it's not so large, the surrounding village is fortified with a brick wall and there are many inns and taverns. It was completely built for people who were traveling to the imperial capital. However, I couldn't see anyone. There were no innkeepers, no customers, really no one. Orlando and me looked at each other and carefully observed the surrounding while being vigilant. Orlando pulled the sword from his waist. I was also warned Miru that feeling restless on my head just in case. We proceeded slowly and reached an open space like a village square where a crowd people gathered in the center. I wondered what this commotion was about. Well, we will see later. Orlando put back the sword to its sheath and approaches the crowd. What's happened here? Orlando. Everyone stirred up when Orlando called out. They are staring as if appraising us, then a man came out of the crowd. And you are? Forgive me. We are travelers in the middle of our trip to the imperial capital from Rinneku City, Orlando, is that so? I'm sorry, but we are not in a state to receive an outsider at the moment. Please continue your journey. However, it seems to be a serious matter, we can lend our power if it's needed, Orlando. Orlando spoke to the man with a full-face smile to gain a favorable impression. Such smiling face is impossible for me. The man come back to the crowd to consulting with his friends. Their flickering glance is aimed towards Meru instead of Orlando. I feel something unpleasant, so I called out to Orlando. Hey, I feel something unpleasant, why don't we pass quickly? Wazoo, what are you talking about, Wazoo? If someone is in trouble, it's a knight's job to help. Orlando, you are not yet a knight, right? What? You are already a knight in the heart. HAA. After sighing out I tried to convince Orlando more strongly, but before that happened, the man came back and spoke to Orlando. I'm sorry to kept you waiting. I will tell you about the situation, so if it's possible could you lend us your power? Yeah. Leave it to me. Orlando, whatever. When I turned my eyes wide towards the crowd of people, some people jumped out and disappeared somewhere. Actually the thieves had attacked a while ago, and the girls in the village had been kidnapped. What? That's a serious matter. Orlando, so now, I thought to gather the young people in the village to take them back. I understand. Because I'm confident with my power somewhat, let me help too by all means, please. Orlando, that would be a great help, of course Wazoo will also come, right? Orlando asked for confirmation from me, but I pretended to think without responding. Well. For now I will reply as if we're troubled. No, I will stays here, Wazoo. On my reply Orlando showed an face and the man showed discontent face for a moment. I tell him a reason that I have to come up with. Ednel.co, maybe the thieves will come again. I will stay here so you can go over there. It's all right, it will be simple thing with the current you now, Wazoo, I see. It certainly has its danger, it's a good idea to split our fighting force. Yash, I leave this place to you. Let's go right away. Orlando, When Orlando said to me, I'm going. He took several people and went outside the village. Do your best because it was also part of the training. While looking in the direction Orlando went, the previous man spoke to me. You are not going. I don't want to go, because the thieves are here as well, Wazoo, I laughed fearlessly toward the man from earlier. No, the thieves are. First of all, even it's true that a woman and child were kidnapped, it's impossible that no one left. Moreover, I didn't see any young man or old man in this place, Wazoo. Next, this place should have a lot if villagers, but there are too few people here no matter how you think about it. Although this is an inn village but there are no costumers at all. Probably, you can find all of them somewhere in the village, right? Wazoo, this is the end of my speculation, there are some of your companions who are heading there first, right? The guys who left the crowd earlier went to give the news to other guys so they can launch an attack from behind. In other words, it's a pincer attack plan. How's that? Wazoo, without uttering a word, the man clicks his tongue and gave a signal to his companion by hand. Then a group of people appeared from everywhere, surrounded as to draw a circle around me. There are twice as many people as before. You are quite smart despite your appearance, but there are some things in the world that's better unsaid. Did you think you could defeat us if the people here were reduced? Too bad. He said so with a triumphant look and received a sword from a man behind. Meanwhile I was lightly striking. 1, 2, 7, 8. Wazoo. What are you doing? Warming up. Wazoo, it's for blowing you away. Proofreader. Truffle **** if you have any suggestion or finding fault in my translation feel free to tell me. Sponsored by Tomi Lai, give him a round of applause. Claps. Claps. Claps ***. Chapter 44 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even it's famous, I don't know what I didn't know. The man continued to speak while ignoring my remark. When will we start? Just hurry and come at me. It seems you don't know who am I. Oh, he doesn't know about Aniki. He must have just come from the countryside. Jaya hahaha. Wazoo, no, I really don't know and I don't care at all. I will tell you if you don't know. I am little brother of great bandits to Gondo brother, S leader, Gondo. Wazoo, I tilted my head. On second thought I still don't know, I never heard his name and all. The other bandits added an explanation with a loud voice. No, it's impossible he didn't know. This is Dagondo's brother we are talking about. Did everything from rape, murder, robbery, and other criminal acts. There is a bounty on his head. It's 100 gold coin no less. Even B.Rank adventurer are no match for him. And this Gondo.Sama is his brother, Gondo, Wazoo, what's with that weak reaction? Ha! Is that surprising? It's just B.Ranked adventurer, right? It's not a big deal. But 100 gold coins rewards. Did Orlando know about it? Wait a second. If the little brother is here, does that mean Orlando is headed to the big brother? Will he be all right? I think it's not a problem in a 1.on.1 fight, but if there are a lot of opponents, or if they take a villager as hostage. Yashi, I will finish these guys quickly and save the villager. That's enough. You guys get rid of him. But be careful to handle a dragon child on his head because we can sell it for a super high price later. Gondo, Oyuyu. The other bandits are attacking all at once. Swords, knives, hand axes, etc. They are armed with various kinds of weapons. I tried not to drop Meru from my head while avoiding their attack. I adjust my power to a degree as not kill each person and knocked all of them down in one strike. Hoi! 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 Wazoo, the bandits who were beaten up gathered in one place and stacked up like a mountain. The mountain gradually became larger while the bandits surrounded me were decreased. Notice the abnormal situation, the rest of the bandits were hesitating to come towards me, so I come towards them instead. Currently, there are only 2 people left standing in this place, me and the little brother of something. When I cast the dust off my shoulder, this little brother raised a voice while trembling. WH.WH.WH, what the heck are you? To defeated this number of people in no time. Gondo, even you asked me that. Ah. For now I'm just AF.Rank adventurer, I guess. Wazoo, come to think of it, where did I put my guild card again? There are various things to remember and it was completely falling out of my head. When I arrive in the kingdom, I need to submit an application to raise my rank. That's a lie. With so much strength, it's impossible that you are just F.Rank adventurer. Gondo, no, I'm telling the truth. Should I show you my guild card? While I was looking for my guild card, the little brother showed his back and ran away. Wait a moment, I will show it to you. Wazoo, I move in front of the little brother in a flash, but he attacked me with his sword while shouting before I could show him my guild card. Uwa. Gondo, Pekian. Because the swords is aimed at my head, I tried to catch it with my finger so as not to hit Meru. But it's shattered instead. Somehow, I feel sorry. The little brother stunned when looking at his broken sword. I didn't feel like showing him my guild card anymore, so I knocked him down and throw it to the mountain of bandits. I was troubled in front of a mountain of bandits. I can leave them just as is, but what if they wake up and run away? While I thought about what to do, an idea came into my mind. But first, I asked Meru to search for villagers that should have been confined somewhere. While Meru flew around the village, I lightly beat the ground in the square to make a hole that fits for 4.5 people in. I buried the bandits into a hole while leaving their head outside. I made similar holes to buried other bandits. I repeated the same work many times. Finally, I finished burying the little brother in the hole for one person. As Meru came back, I opened my hands and waited for her. She landed on my face instead. After a little struggle to climb onto my head, she pointed her small limb to one direction. Should I go over there? Wazoo, QE. Meru, the place Meru pointed was a village's assembly hall. There were 2 people that acted as guards. I buried them in the same manner as the other bandits. There was a big lock prepared by the bandits at the door, but with I snapped it into 2. There were a lot of people inside when I opened the door. Everyone's attention were focused on me. Who are you? One of the bandits. Because it's a little strange to see me entering the assembly hall alone, an elder old man asks for confirmation from me. I briefly explained the current situation and released everyone. They are conveyed their gratitude to me, and I found out that the elder old man is a village chief. I told the chief that my friend is still in a fight with other bandits, so I will join him. I asked some adventurers to watch the bandits that I buried in the ground. I asked Meru to search for Orlando's location from his smell. I dashed as soon as Meru pointed to one direction. Orlando, please stay safe. Plus. Chapter 45. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hang in there. Orlando. We headed towards a nearby forest following Orlando's scent. As we got near the location Meru was pointed at, I can see Orlando had pulled out his sword in a slightly open place. He was confronted with around 10 bandits. The biggest guy among the bandits held a little girl while pressed the blade of his axe at her neck. It seems they are using a hostage to seal Orlando's movement. On Orlando's left shoulder there was a cut down to his back with a little blood flowing. Perhaps, he was caught in a surprise attack from a bandit who went with him. For now, it was good that nothing serious happened to him. Orlando, who noticed me, asked about the situation. Wazoo. What are you doing here? Orlando, what? I just came to check, Wazoo. Who are you, bastard? Ah. He was the idiot's friend who stayed behind at the village, one of the bandits called the giant who took the girl hostage as a boss, and told him about me. However, don't call my friend an idiot or I'll kill you. Fool. So, you are the leader of this brother something, right? Wazoo, it's Dagondo brothers. Bastard, you don't know about this Digo. Sama, the leader of Dagondo brothers. Digo, the surrounding bandits started ranting. Oh, I heard it earlier. The bandits who were in a village carefully told me that. Well, right now they were buried in the ground though, Wazoo. The bandits looked at me as if didn't understand what I was talking about. On the other side, Orlando had a bitter smile while imagining their situation. It was hard work, you know. To bury all of them. I don't understand what you are talking about. Forget it, I can confirm it later. Neither of you don't dare to move hands or legs from where you stand. Digo, the giant pressed his axe to the girl he was holding. The girl shed tears in her eyes, she couldn't scream or move because of fear. I call out to Orlando. Orlando, can you take care of the big man? It's all right, your power is enough. Just think about it as practice, Wazoo. All right. Orlando, bastard, if you dare to move even a little. Gatto, I disappeared from the place at the same time as Orlando nodded. I can't guarantee the girl's safety. This girl S.A. Gatto, the man seeing his own hands grabbing thin air. Then he looked at me holding the girl with a surprised expression. Wah. How the hell? What kind of skill is this? Gatto, I just move a bit seriously though. The girl, who didn't understand the situation, remained solid. I held the girl up and stroking her back to calm her. It's all right now. Just stay still a little longer, Wazoo. Orlando also showed a relieved look to see the girl in my hand. He put words with a gentle expression while facing the girl in order to calm her down. Then the girl's cheeks turned red. I am the one who saved you though. Sigh. I am never popular with women, I thought so. You guys, surround and kill them. Gatto, the bandits surround us following the giant's words. I called out Orlando while watching that. As I said earlier, you take care of the big man and leave the rest of the bandits to me, Wazoo. All right. Orlando ran up towards the giant after giving a short reply. The other bandits rushed forward, tried to block his way, but the giant man swung his axe to stop Orlando's momentum. The sword and axe collided. He is my share. You guys kill that guy over there. Gatto, following the order, the rest of the bandits came to attack me together. I kicked them out while avoiding their attack so the girl doesn't get hit. I mean, I was holding the girl so both of my hands are occupied. Like the bandits in the village, I make other mountain here. Not long, all bandits has piled up like a mountain. The giant had a look of astonishment by the results. Impossible. Gatto, oh too, are you sure you have time to looking at that? Orlando, not missing a chance made by himself, Orlando's sword reached his abdomen and made a shallow cut. Bastard, I'll kill you. Gatto, the giant swung his axe, however Orlando parried it with his sword calmly. Still, sometimes Orlando was in a dangerous situation. Apparently each other's ability seems to be close. Even so, it feels as though Orlando is slightly overwhelming. The giant that can't decide the game gradually showing an irritated expression on his attack. Without missing the chance, Orlando struck his body while avoiding his axe that came at him. The giant's stance crumbled and Orlando unleashed another slash attack. The giant stood up to regain his stance while throwing dirt that he picked up when he fell towards Orlando. Even with his vision being deprived, Orlando succeeded to piercing the giant's chest with his sword. Gatto, when Orlando pulled his sword from his chest, the giant fell as if he had lost all his power. Without minding the blood that attached on his sword, Orlando wipes the sweat from his face while showing a smile of victory. Do you feel stronger now? Wazoo, yeah. Fool. I was a little unsure before, because I couldn't even make you serious to fight me, Orlando. With a forced smile I entrust the girl to Orlando. I let him to rescue the other people that got captured. Since there possibility that the place was guarded, I warn him to be careful and see him off. I raised the already dead giant man with one hand and put it together with the other bandits. After finished loaded them I walked slowly towards the village. Proofreader. Truffle ****. If you have any suggestion or finding fault in my translation feel free to tell me. Chapter 46 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ring and sword. When I arriving at the village, the chief and some adventurers were waiting at the entrance of a village. I told them that Orlando was currently rescuing the other people and entrusted the cleaning up of the giant man's body to them. It seems the village chief has already sent a fast horse to Rinneku city to ask for reinforcement. I took the other bandits who were still alive to their companion in the village square. The cheers are raised from the entrance of the village. It seems Orlando has come back with the people who were caught. I buried the bandits I brought in the same manner and walked towards the village's entrance to meet Orlando and Meru. Orlando was applauded and surrounded by people in the village. Words of appreciation come flying from everywhere. He received a grand welcome while several women entwined their arm to him. I was looking at the scene from outside the circle. I was also working hard, you know. Meru is patting my head with Pesci. As soon as she understood what I thought. Meru is the only one who understands me. This is the disparity due to our faces. Orlando who notices me being comforted by Meru waving his hand. The crowds finally realize my existence and come to say their thanks while hitting my back with Bashi. I was surrounded by men. Orlando was surrounded by women. Damn it. Even though I was stronger than him. After that, Orlando and I were invited to a celebration banquet that was held in the assembly hall. Several people insisted to invite me to drink some liquors, but I refused it politely. I promised not to drink anymore. There was a talk about treasures that the bandits had amassed, so I asked Orlando. It seems we got the ownership because we defeated them, and he asked me back about what to do. Not only treasures, there are also bandits who had a bounty on their heads, and it seems to be a considerable amount. Orlando and I headed to a small room where the treasures were kept for confirmation. Inside the room, we take out and line up the contents of a bag for confirmation. There are various items inside: swords, knives, spears, axes, etc. Some of them are rusty, but there was also beautiful jewelry inside the bag. Other than jewelry, there are silver coins, gold coins, and several magic items that I don't know its function. We are slowly checking various items one by one. After a while I took a ring that piqued my interest. What is this ring? Wazoo, ah. Orlando, did I look at the ring on my palm? Although the shape is just like a normal ring, there is half-shaped green gem embedded beautifully at the upper part of ring. I'm curious about a reason why is the gem half-shaped. That's. Could it be Ring of Order, Orlando, TL? Equals ban no Yubiwa equals ring of number/turn. It doesn't sounds right for me, do you have a better name? Ring of Order. Wazoo, yeah, I have seen one a long time ago. It's said to be a defective magic item though. There was half-shaped gem embedded like this so there is no doubt. What kind of ring is this? Wazoo, according to Orlando's explanation this ring is made in pairs of 2. The effect seems we could send and receive messages through the rings that has been registered to each other. However, the reason why it's said to be a defective magic item is because the amount of magical power needed will change depending on the distance. Summary: it consume enormous magical power so average wizards couldn't use it to send a message to far away place. Yup, it's a defective item. But it looks interesting. Alright, it's decided. I just need this ring. I don't need anything else so you can take the rest, Orlando. Wazoo, I can't use it even if I got the weapon. Is that all? Orlando, yeah, I don't have any particular problem with money, I don't need a weapon as well, I just need to kick or hit any opponent. Wazoo, wait a moment. This is a defective item as I told a short while ago, also there is only one. Orlando, that gives me more reason. In other words, someone out there has the other ring, right? If I keep it, perhaps some message will come later. If that happens, I can return this ring to the rightful owner. It could be a memento of someone. Wazoo, I see. Orlando nods to my story. He pondered on something while looking at the treasure in front of him. What's wrong? Everything is yours. Alright, I will take this sword and several gold coins. Orlando, that said, he took a sword with wings. Like ornament and several gold coins. Is that okay? Wazoo, yeah, I will give the rest to people of this village. They are the people who suffered damage here, Orlando. Ugh. I never thought about it. Is this the difference between us? Is this the mindset of a man who aspiring to be a knight? You are dazzling, Orlando. After telling the village chief that we will give the remaining treasure to everyone, the banquet became more rousing. We stayed overnight at the village and on the next day, while being thanked by everyone we departing from the village. In the future, those who committed crime in this village will be buried alive at the center of village while leaving only their head outside. On their side, a signboard that state their crime will be put. This punishment is made to humiliating a criminal. Later the village chief said, when I saw it for the first time, I thought, this is it. However, it seems nobody could remember anymore who is the first person who did it. Chapter 47 You are listening at novelfull.audio. A voice which reaches through the ring Orlando and I slowly walk down the highway towards the next village. It seems we will need another 5 days on foot to reach the village. We advance steadily while taking our time for training. Occasionally Orlando did sword practice to accustom himself with his new sword. Apparently the blade part of his old sword got chipped here and there after the battle with the giant man and its lifespan almost reached the limit. No wonder since he used it to parry an axe of the giant man. I watching Orlando cut a goblin that appeared along the highway while stroking Meru. He came back while tilting his head. What's wrong? Wazoo, no, it may be just my imagination but my body feels lighter when I use this sword. Orlando, I can't tell by the look, but if Orlando who used the sword felt that way, it must be true. We won't get anywhere thinking about it so we begin to walk towards the next village again. We are just 1 day distance on foot to the next village. While walking and chatting with Orlando, a strange noise reaches my ears. Me. What now? I checked the surrounding but couldn't find anyone else other than us here. Orlando is looking at me with a strange look because of my sudden behavior. Meru is just sleeping without reaction. I thought it was just my imagination, so I continue to walk just as is, but this time the voice is getting clearer. Can you hear me? Any one? Oh. I heard it. I look at the surroundings again but still couldn't find any human figure. A ghost. As expected, I won't be able to kick or punch it. While I was wondering about what to do, Orlando pointed at my hand. Could it be from the ring? Orlando, oh. Wazoo, I see, I'm wearing a ring of order on my left index finger right now. Then, the woman's voice I heard was coming from the ring. Help me. Kaboom! The moment she spoke that, a flame explosion rose from the direction of the forest ahead of us. Orlando and I look at each other and nods. We run towards the forest where the explosion from before occurred. There were 3 men over there. 2 people were holding a sword wearing red armor and red shirlet. The other one who holding a cane wearing a red robe. I can't see their faces clearly because of their helmets and hood. There was also a woman who confronted these 3. She was covered by semicircular of slyly semi-transparent light which seems to be a barrier while looking at the 3 men with a grievous expression. Although she wore monastic clothes, it's enough for me to understand that she has voluptuous breasts from the top of the clothes because of her slim body shape. Although she had a grievous expression right now, I can imagine her gentle smile that soothed everyone's heart. However, the most eye-catching part is her red eyes. It has the same color as her hair that was tied in small braids to her back. Somehow, I can't take my eyes off from her. Right now I was standing between a woman and 3 men, alone. Orlando and Meru were hiding somewhere in the bush. It can't be helped, because I ran too fast, I couldn't stop in time. Meru had flown away as soon as she understood I couldn't stop running. That traitor dragon. I told Orlando to not come out with a gesture. I don't know what the situation is going to be, so I don't want to give unnecessary stimulation. Because I stood still in front of them without uttering any words, the men with swords attacked me without a second thought. I avoided their swords with plenty of time to spare. Their swords come towards me in unison. I think their attack had a similar style, so to speak. Good armor and good shield, they wore the same equipment, I can tell they are members of the same group that belongs to somewhere. I tried not to think about it as much as possible, but they looked like knights. Could it be they are a good men and the woman inside the barrier was an evil? But they are seriously tried to kill me. I can feel bloodthirst coming from the swords that were aiming at me. I took a glance at the women, she was looking at me with a pale face as if worried about me. It's clear who is a bad person here. Sigh. It can't be helped. I avoided their swords with paper-thin distance, and while at it I struck them one by one to make them unconscious in rapid succession. I approaches the wizard, who was surprised because the 2 fell down in the blink of an eye. I was also made him unconscious in one strike as not to give him a chance to use magic. Fool. Because I'm not killing them, for the time being I won't get into a trouble, right? But I don't know if it will become a trouble later. Did you kill them? Orlando, no, I just made them unconscious. Wazoo, Orlando came out from the bushes and asked me. Meru had jumped to my head again. Or rather, do you think anyone will die if I hit them? What do you think about me? Well, I could though. Sigh. The woman who was supposed to be inside a barrier had approached us with a relived expression. In the distance of several steps from us she suddenly lowered her head. Thank you very much for your help. Right now, I can't give you anything in return except this words of gratitude. When she raised her head, she have a very gentle smile as I thought. I'm the 2nd princess of the Mabando kingdom, Namanissa Mabando, Oops, it smells like a trouble.